here. You gotta see this. Right now you're looking down the eyepiece of a spindle centering scope. I can see I was a little off center with that prick punch mark there. This one is made by a company called Skull. And that one was a little more on center. The way this works is you'll line up those thin black little crosshairs with your layout line or your punch marks, and you'll set the spindle exactly on where it ought to be. Let's get on with the chain drilling now. All that chain drilling took a while, and some of them came out better than others. This one came out pretty good. I don't expect I can just put this in the vise and whack it with a hammer to make this come off. I expect it to just make it easier when I go to hacksaw it. And isn't that beautiful? But was it worth it? Although chain drilling got it done, I don't think I'll be doing that again. I was interested to see what it would be like and what I could get out of it, but it took way too long. It took a couple of hours, and maybe if I had a CNC machine do it like how Robin Renzetti did his, then it would make sense because I could do something else while I'm waiting for the program to finish. But for manual machining, I don't see the practicality of it. Maybe it's just how I was doing it in this particular part, but I don't think I really lessened the time it would take for me to hacksaw these parts patiently. Now we're going to mill the slot for where the clearance for the blade will go. Okay, we're finally at the stage where we can mark the holes on the actual blade guide. So I have to have some space between the back of the blade and the bearing, but I want it to be as small as possible, and I think the width of the scale will be plenty. And if it's not, then I can loosen the screw up a little bit, put a washer behind the bearing, and clear up the difference. I'd like to interrupt this project for another project, a quick one. I'm going to make an oil can out of this can of coconut milk. I'm going to drill the top of it for this copper fitting here. I've got it very securely secured to the table. Here we go. So here are the magnet base. I've got this so far over here because once it gets onto some surface, it's real tough to get off. If it's hanging over, I can get it off easily. Got all my parts fluxed, good and clean. And here's some 50-50 solder, and let's get going. So, the bond of the copper fitting to the can was good. The bond of the can to the magnetic base was not good. And I suppose maybe the fit up was too close and the solder couldn't flow into it. So I've put these little pieces of aluminum chips underneath it. And let's see if now we can get that solder to flow in there. Okay, it's cool enough to touch, and I'm hoping that I don't rip the can off of the magnet base. Okay, I'd call that a success. There we go. I suppose that the first time the magnet was grabbing the steel can and creating not enough gap for the solder and the flux to get in there. I'm going to see if this paint stripping stuff will get this off. I would not like to have to take this off mechanically. Please do not adjust your speakers. I've turned the video's volume down in order to spare you the screeching sound of the parting tool chattering. Eventually here I remember that I've got to take a heavier cut in order to avoid it chattering. I gotta remember I get chatter when I only feed too gingerly. If I let it actually take the cut, it comes out fine. Okay. And there are our guides, our round guides with a little flat milled on them. Let's get these in there and wrap it up. And there's the completed blade guide on the saw. Now that this part of the project is complete, I can move on to the next step in restoring this and converting it to metal cutting, which will be slowing it down, which I'll be doing by making a jack shaft and pulley arrangement. I'd like to say thank you to Mr. Pete Tubalcain for showing me how to make this, and thank you for watching me do it. This isn't Chef's choice anymore. This is my choice.